China's current genocide against the people of East Turkestan has begun from Urumqi massacre 11 years ago as the starting point. On July 5, 2009, thousands of Uyghur students took to the streets of Urumqi to peacefully protest the injustice of the Chinese government's handling of a mob attack on Uyghur workers a week earlier in Shaoguan, a town, Guangdong Province, in which around 20 Uyghurs were killed and more than 300 were injured. The Uyghurs asked that the Chinese government investigate. What started as a peaceful protest ended with the authorities replying with excessive force. Does this sound familiar? According to Uyghur witnesses, paramilitary forces started mass arrests and shooting at protesters on site in the evening, chasing them around alleyways and killing an estimated more than 1,000 young Uyghurs on the night of July 5, 2009. Just like Tiananmen, the truth was concealed. Only images that were selected to present to the world Uyghurs painted as terrorists were released. The horror didn't stop there. Chinese civilians soon stormed the streets, killing Uyghurs. They stormed university dormitories, residential homes, workplaces, and organizations, and massacred children, women, and the elderly. Over 1,000 Han Chinese armed attackers marched into the medical university and engaged in mass killing. 2 Uyghur girls were beheaded, and their heads were placed on the stake in the middle of the street. A woman carrying her baby was attacked, and they were both mutilated. In a railroad factory, ethnic Han Chinese began searching for Uyghurs and killed them in mass. The authorities did nothing to stop this violence, demonstrating the same attitude to Uyghurs as those Chinese attackers at Shaoguan did a week earlier. The regime then started to sentence Uyghur youths who had participated in the peaceful protest. Over 400 faced criminal charges. 9 were executed in November 2009, including an 18-year-old Uyghur girl. The human rights organizations documented thousands of Uyghurs forced disappeared after July 5, 2009. Most people have never heard of any of these atrocities. The Chinese authorities restricted coverage by blocking internet sites and the phone services in the region following these massacres. Even today, most people believe the Chinese government's lies and call this massacre the July 5th Urumqi riot, including the Wikipedia. Most international media outlets directly copied the news and the images from the Chinese media and distributed them without proper investigation. Any responsible and observant journalist knows that China routinely lies in this kind of situation to cover up state terror. And while we might point to a lack of concern from Chinese netizens about Uyghurs killed as a massive societal problem in China, I cannot excuse the international community from guilt. Now we see the further developing evidence of the genocide that's occurring. forced sterilization and abortions, mandatory birth control, a decimated birth rate, 13 tons of hair harvested from Uyghur prisoners of China's concentration camps. How many lives does 13 tons represent? Does your stomach not churn from the graphic representation of human suffering that the world has seen before and sworn to prevent saying never again? With the COVID-19 pandemic and China's increased global bullying, we have been shown clearly the evils that the Chinese government is capable of, things that the Uyghurs have known and suffered for years. Wake up! Enough people have suffered needlessly at the hands of this evil regime. Remember July 5th and stop the continuing genocide of the Uyghur people.